Firstly, Chair, thank you so much for putting this on the agenda, and thank you to Council who's been helpful on this. If with your indulgence, Chair, I would like to give some context to why this bill is so important and why we're doing it at this time. The gun industry enjoys a very special blanket immunity that other industries do not have. And this was conferred to it by a federal statute that protects them from civil lawsuits. But civil justice historically in this country has been a very important source to protect public safety in the consumer protection space. We think about the automobile industry. Safety bags and safe tire designs didn't come by way of corporate benevolence or the goodness of their heart. It was the result of civil litigation. We see that in the tobacco industry, reforms to how they sell their product didn't come from the goodwill of the corporate executives, it was civil litigation. We saw the same thing in the lead paint industry, and we're seeing it right now actively in the opioid industry. And what's important to note here is not only does the gun industry enjoy this immunity, there's also no commensurate path for consumers to get compensation when things go wrong. For other inherently dangerous industries where Congress has conferred this type of protection, Congress has also set up pathways for victims to get compensation. We think about the vaccine industry. There's an administrative and adjudication process for people to recoup if things go wrong. In the railroad industry, if something goes wrong, you can recoup your money. The civil lawsuits can proceed, but they cap it at a certain amount. The same thing happens with nuclear plants. If all of our worst nightmares were to occur, nuclear plants would be on the hook, but Congress said we have capped the amount that they have to pay. And so I think it's important for us to have this context in talking about the gun industry because their immunity is incredibly unique in our corporate ecosystem. Now, in this federal law, there is an exception that says that states can regulate the firearm industry. And if states are doing that and there's a violation of that law, then the gun industry can be held accountable. And that's exactly what this law is doing here today. Our courts have interpreted this particular exception, known as the predicate exception. The highest federal court in New York has said, if you meet this requirement, you can do it. We feel that our bill does that. And it's really about giving victims their day in court. We know that 76% of the guns found on crime scenes come from out of state. Any New Yorker should feel a sense of pride in protecting New York from this type of hazard. And in fact, the state has a compelling interest to protect the health and the safety of its citizens. We just declared gun violence a public health crisis last month. There is no dispute that this is a scourge that affects many New Yorkers and communities. And this bill is about holding the bad actors accountable for that. So if you are a responsible member of the gun industry, you have nothing to worry about. If you are a legal gun owner and you want to go purchase a firearm legally, this bill will not impede your ability to do so. But if you are a bad actor and you are responsible for the illegal trafficking of guns in flooding that market, this bill aims to hold you accountable. So I just want to thank the chair again for allowing us to debate this, talk about this, and I look forward to its passage on the floor.